9 p.m., the dreaded weeknight witching hour for many kids in the 1960s and 70s, who were forced into early bedtimes by their parents so they could, quote, get enough rest, unquote, for school the next day. It seemed so unreasonable to us. Why would an 11-year-old kid need 10 hours of sleep before waking up for school? The answer? We didn't. Those of us who later had kids of our own found out the real reason behind the early curfew. Our parents, as much as they loved us, wanted some peace and quiet so they could enjoy the rest of their evening. At any rate, it was a rule that was often strictly enforced, though on some occasions the rules were relaxed to allow for an extra half hour. For me, it was torture. There was no way I was going to fall asleep quickly at 9 p.m. So I would just lie there for at least an hour, tossing and turning, and hearing the echoes of the TV shows my parents were watching. These shows, many of them all-time classics, were missed by a generation of early-to-bed, early-to-rise youngsters. If you were lucky and you lived in the Central Time Zone, in which prime time started at 6:30 p.m. rather than 7:30, you got to see the 9 p.m. Eastern shows 1 hour early at 8 p.m. Shows such as Bonanza, Untouchables, The Alfred Hitchcock Hour, and Dr. Kildare. But in the East, the only way we could watch these shows was during summer reruns or Christmas holidays. But even in the Central Time Zone, many kids going to bed at 9 would still miss The Fugitive, Ben Casey, Naked City, and other quality shows. This created serious gaps in our knowledge of TV history. In school, we talked about Batman and Johnny Quest, both which aired at 7:30 Eastern. We didn't talk about The Defenders, I Spy, or The Big Valley. We barely knew these shows existed. My own parents sometimes felt sorry for me and let me stay up till 9:30 to finish watching Star Trek, which aired at 8:30 Eastern on Thursday nights during its first season in 1966. My parents also let us stay up to watch the 9 p.m. airing of Bewitched. As we got older, bedtimes mercifully shifted. By high school, I was allowed to stay up until 10, enabling me to watch the likes of NYPD and Dragnet. By my junior year, it was 11 all the way, and I finally got to see the full primetime schedule, including Marcus Welby, Medical Center, and Hawaii Five-0. But Johnny Carson was denied me, except on Friday night, until I got into college. Of course, many of the shows we missed in their first runs, we were able to eventually see in syndicated reruns. Then, the miracle of videotape came into being for home use, enabling us to record broadcasts at any time. After that, there were pre-recorded tapes and later DVDs. Finally, almost all of the great shows from our childhood became our personal property. And ironically, many of the seniors today who had to go to bed reluctantly at 9 p.m. in the 50s, 60s, and even the 70s have returned to going to bed at 9 or 10 p.m., this time by choice.